coming to you live every Thursday night at 6 p.m. from glamorous downtown Boca Raton. I'll show you how to live life in style in one of the country's most elegant cities, nestled right along the beautiful Atlantic beaches between Palm Beach and Miami. So sit back, relax, and let me show you how to indulge yourself Boca style. I have some really interesting guests tonight. We're going to get to them in a minute. My first guest, she actually was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer metastasized to her brain. And she is here with, her name is Leanne Hartiudo, and she's here with Barry Rabkin from Raw Juice. They're going to talk about what happened after that. Leanne is here to tell us about a devastating diagnosis she got about a little over a year ago, 14 months ago, when she was diagnosed with lung cancer that had metastasized to her brain. She's not a smoker. She had some symptoms. She'll tell us about it. And she went in and got a scan of her brain and found a dozen malignant tumors, correct? Yes. You want to tell us your story?
Yes, thank you so much. I was diagnosed actually.
Well, tell us first about your symptoms, because I found that very interesting.
Really?
What brought you to the ER?
Yes, no symptoms really up until the time of diagnosis, except for Wednesday in the middle of February of 2016. I had some numbing on the left side and sitting in church on Ash Wednesday and kind of ignored it, pushed it off. Went a few days on Monday morning on the 22nd of February. I got up and my entire left side was totally numb. And I went to, first thing, feed my dogs and the bowl. I just kept dropping the bowl.
Well, that must have been frightening in itself.
Yeah, I had a pinched nerve from yoga, and I still just kind of thought it was
because you were always very athletic and you work out and everything?
Yes. So I called my chiropractor on the way to taking my son to school. I dropped him off at school. I was still numb. It was about an hour later, and he said, "You need to get to the ER. You're having mini strokes." So I drove myself to Boca Community. And they scanned my head, and my life was changed forever. They found multiple tumors in my brain, and so they looked for the primary site, scanned my body, and found the primary site to be my lungs. So I was diagnosed with stage 4 adeno non-small cell carcinoma.
So you found all that out by going to the ER for these symptoms of numbness. Yes. And up until that, you were perfectly healthy?
Yes.
You had no reason to think there was anything wrong?
No.
And you told me you had a flashing once in your eyes and you just kind of ignored that?
Yes, an end-of-season triathlon, Escape Miami in September of 2015. And had ongoing flashing on my left side, but I just thought it was, my body was taxed from racing.
Who hasn't had that with the exercise?
Right. Needed some Gatorade.
Right.
Yes, and never thought anything else about it. Headaches, my oncologist said, "Didn't you ever have headaches?" I had allergies. So, you always have a headache when you have allergies. You have congestion.
And you didn't have 1 or 2 tumors in your brain. You had a dozen. And one was quite large.
Yes.
3 centimeters?
3 centimeter was surgically removed 5 days after diagnosis.
So you went down to Miami for that?
University of Miami to Ricardo Comatar. I was referred to him by my oncologist, Albert Vegas, like Boca Community.
Yeah, I know Dr. Vegas.
Yes,
he's excellent.
Yes.
So they only took out 1 tumor. They left 11 in there?
Correct. Only 1 was operable. None of the tumors were candidates for CyberKnife. CyberKnife is technology at Lynn Cancer Center. 4 or less tumors, and so I was kind of left with not really any options except for full brain radiation and generalized chemo with the magnitude of tumors.
And they gave you a life expectancy of?
90 days with no treatment.
Oh, my goodness. So you were prepared to have the radiation to your brain?
Yes.
That's what they were going to do.
Yeah.
That was the treatment. And that would have been brutal and quite damaging, right?
Yeah, I don't think I'd be here today if I had taken that course, if I was not spared with my pathology came back. I said, if this is what I have to swallow and this is what I need to endure, I need to take my son on vacation while he sees me whole. I came back.
So you went on vacation with your son knowing that you had this diagnosis and that you were going, how old is your son?
14 now.
14.
Yes, and I have 4 stepchildren, so.
Did you tell him at the time?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
It was quite a quite a realization. It's a life changer forever.
So you went on this vacation.
And came back thinking I was starting full brain radiation and chemotherapy, and my pathology came back 4 to 5 weeks late, and I was labeled as designer cancer. I came back with,
which is a good thing.
I know, especially in Boca. I had designer cancer.
That fits.
You know, ALK rearranged, and that enabled me to be a candidate for a targeted therapy drug, which I started immediately.
And those are the latest things I've heard. I talked to people in medicine, and I don't want to say you're lucky that because of everything that's happened to you, but you're lucky that you had something that could treat that. Right. But the reason we have Barry here is you want to tell how he entered the picture?
Yes, Barry and I were friends from just, living in Boca for such a long time, and we were friends from the gym, and I did always juice, but I always did it myself and not massive amounts of juice. And Barry and I started talking through a mutual friend, and he told me his story and his journey. And
can you tell us your story real quick, just to bring us up to speed?
Yeah, well, I had thyroid cancer in 2009, which is more like a head cold compared to what Leanne had, so I don't really want to...
Still cancer.
But yes, I was washing my face one day, and when I splashed the water, I looked up and I had like a golf ball in my neck.
Oh, so it was a tumor also?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that set me on that path of going to multiple doctors, MRIs, CAT scans. I eventually was treated at University of Miami Sylvester by a Dr. Goodwin, who was amazing. Sylvester's great. And then after that, I just wasn't feeling myself. Radioactive iodine, I just wasn't as sharp or as energetic as I used to be.
Sure.
And then I was introduced to juicing, and then I took to it right away. And I started exploding literally with energy.
Really?
And mental alertness and everything. And then I was like, I need to do something with this. And I went to my partners, Jeff and Steve, who were in the restaurant business or fast casual. And then we came up with the idea of raw juice.
And that has exploded in South Florida, let me tell you.
Yes, that has...
it's a wonderful business.
Yes, we're trying hard.
I'm known to hang out in the one here in East Boca. In fact, I had 3 meetings in there yesterday.
Right.
I use it as my office.
Right.
You took my favorite drink off the menu, though.
Which one?
It was a coffee drink. I know that's probably the least healthy thing you have.
Well, we use almond milk, not dairy.
Oh, it's very good. Very good.
For coffee, it's healthy.
Yeah, but people love that place. I mean, it's really taken off.
Yeah.
And so you found out that juicing while you were going through cancer totally made you feel a lot better. And both of you look so healthy. I mean, you look like...
Yes, it made me feel a lot better. And then I started researching it. There's books out there, How Not to Die by Dr. Michael Greger, who does some scientific data on the fruits and the vegetables and how good they are for you. So then I started just devouring all this information and juicing at home with a Breville.
So you did it yourself? Okay.
And making a ton of juice. And then we came to raw juice. Leanne and I knew each other from Lifetime Fitness in Boca. Got to give them a little bit of a plug here.
See, both these people are so fit and so healthy looking. I mean, these are... You guys are healthy people that worked out and everything.
Cancer's not picky.
Yeah, right.
Cancer's not picky, exactly.
Right. Yeah. And neither one of you knows why you got cancer.
They don't.
Yeah.
They don't say, "Oh, you did this in 6th grade, and that's why you have it
Right.
now." That doesn't happen. And then we have mutual friends, Nicole and Catherine.
Yes.
And they put us together. And it's delicate, obviously, to just call someone up and talk about.
So did you knew each other just from the gym?
Yeah,
but
we weren't.
I never even knew Barry ever had cancer until I was diagnosed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I called her up or texted her, however it works nowadays, and I just said, listen, obviously do whatever your doctors are telling you to do and everything like that. And I just know what juicing did for me, just making me feel better.
Right.
What I'd like to do for you is just open up the doors of raw juice for you, and anything and everything you want will be complimentary.
Oh, wow.
And, hopefully it makes you feel a little better. That was really the goal. Here we are.
It really is. It's life changing. And I mean, I always ate healthy, and Not a total plant-based diet, but ate a lot of fish. I've eaten chicken. I've prepped a lot of the food that's gone in my body for the past. I thought I ate clean. I thought I ate healthy, but you cannot possibly consume amount of phytonutrients in greens eating that you can in juice.
In juice,
One of these bottles, Barry.
Because
let
me hold this up.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, the bottle. That
So
bottle
what's
of
in here?
juice could have 4 or 5 pounds of fruits and vegetables. So you would never be able to
Eat that
many.
much.
But by juicing it, you're going to get all the nutrients. And those nutrients, a lot of people say they get so much energy from juicing. And the reason is because all those nutrients are flushing through your body quickly that your body comes alive, almost to say.
Wow. And it made you feel better right away?
Amazing. I mean, right away. Turmeric, wheatgrass, and I was consuming.
I know you two
Had
did
them.
those yellow shots the
Yeah.
other day. I
The
met them at
turmeric
Raw
shots.
Juice, and he
Liquid
hands me one,
gold.
hands her one,
Yes.
and they both downed them. And I was like,
Yes.
well, I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of research out on
Yeah?
turmeric that, basically it's an anti-inflammatory. And inflammation is the root of almost all diseases.
Yeah, right.
So anything you can do to bring the inflammation down is going to help you.
So what did you put her on, a regimen of a certain type of juice or a certain schedule? Or
We knew to be on mostly vegetables.
Green, green.
which is what
green.
this is, right? This is ginger
Yeah.
green.
That's ginger green. The one
Okay.
that Leanne drinks is Foy,
Okay.
which actually stands for the Fountain of Youth. But
And what's in that one?
just
Green,
spinach.
green,
yeah,
green.
it's all green.
And they taste good too, right?
They do,
Yes.
when you crave what you eat. So, drinking, 4 of those a day. I mean, what's that? Like,
Yeah,
50
it's-
pounds of vegetables. I
Wow.
mean, and tons of water, and really, really concentrating on healing myself from the inside out based on Barry's knowledge,
Right.
So,
And when you're not having all the other stuff, that's causing all these other things to happen in your body.
Sure.
Obviously you're cleansing everything out.
But what
So-
about, did you eat normal meals? Did you just juice in between?
Oh yeah, definitely ate. Needed the amount of medication that I was taking at that time. With brain surgery and steroids, and your life.
So what
just
did they have you
totally
on?
Changes. I took a targeted therapy drug. Of course, my insurance would not approve me for.
Oh, tell us that story. This is frightening.
The targeted therapy drug that I took had 3 levels: Generation 1, Generation 2, and Generation 3. Well, obviously, my oncologist, my brain oncologist, Dr. Chowdhury and Dr. Begas wanted me immediately on the Generation 3 drug, but my insurance says, no, we have to start at step 1. So I took a drug called Xalcori, which did hold any growth back for basically a year.
Oh, wow.
Every scan, I had scans of CAT scans of my lungs and my brain every 2 months, and each one was status quo, status quo, status quo.
So you had tumors in the lungs as well as in the brain.
Correct. I had
Okay.
4 to 5 sizable tumors in my lungs, and then hair-like fragments, so up to 80 in my lungs.
What are hair-like fragments?
Like a snowstorm.
Like the
Dr.
beginning
Vegas
small tumors?
would say, yes, correct.
Okay.
Hair-like fragments. He would describe it as a snowstorm
Wow.
throughout the lungs.
And you still have those?
To date, I am almost to complete resolution. My oncologist would say to complete resolution, which is, it's miraculous. It's truly miraculous.
We have, Freddie, can you put up her brain scan? We have a
Actually have
before
it.
and after
Yes.
of the brain scan. And we're going to take a look at that. Well, but while he's getting it ready. So you're in complete resolution of the lungs, you mean?
And the brain.
And the brain.
And the brain. I did have my first negative scan was in January of this year. So January, I still had 11 tumors in my brain, and I had a little bit minute growth in change in the front lobal region. And it was enough to get me to the next level drug. And my doctor.
So that actually helped you.
It did. It got me
Okay.
to the next level. And I started that drug in February. I was not on that drug, and that's Alecensa, so I was bumped up to the level 3 drug. I took that for 3 weeks. I did also had started alternative medicine in September of 2016.
What is that?
Cannabis oil.
Oh, yes. Okay.
And very, very hard road to take. It puts you down. You can't really function. But
Oh, wow.
the power, someone had mentioned it to me a month after diagnosis, and I said, I got 90 days to live. I'd like to be sober and enjoy it.
Right, sure.
And I
Remember it.
Yes,
Yeah.
And I started reading about it. I read for 6 months. But it just took me that long to really have faith that, hey, there's something to this.
Okay.
Right.
And I started the protocol. It took me about 2 to 3 months to get up to the, suggested dose. And so, 4 months into the suggested dose, still no change. January, then I changed my drug. I upped my drug. 1 month later, I wasn't even on my new drug a month, but the combination of the plant-based diet, the cannabis oil, and the new drug, I had my first scan in March that my doctors were absolutely astounded that this is a miracle. And
Freddie,
you'll see
do we
the
have the
time
brain
of
scan?
diagnosis, and then in March, and I just had a brain scan today, and people say, how do you feel? The doctors are like, I've never seen someone so excited to come in and get a scan. I said, well, I just know it's going to be even better than the last scan because,
Wow.
Your actions follow your thoughts, and really is the power of positive thinking. And Barry Grabkin and so many people in this journey. I've just been blessed with so many amazing people, my brain surgeon, my oncologist.
Right.
And if you see the brain scan, the power
Let me see if I can get.
Yes.
I'm going to look here, see if we can get that pulled up.
I am down to lines and shadows and to minute, small white spots. And my lungs,
Wow.
I have one small nodule left in my lungs. So 80 in the lungs and 12 in the
80
brain.
tumors in your lungs?
Wow.
I am almost a complete resolution, and I just, I'm hoping to, get the word out and give people hope that you just never give up. You never give up, and don't close out any options. Keep your mind open.
Yeah, because in the beginning you thought that your only option was radiation of the brain.
And chemotherapy, and the size of me and the massive amounts of the drugs that I would have to do, I don't think I'd be sitting here today.
Well, it would have been very
Telling my story.
brutal for you to undergo the radiation of the brain, right?
Yes, absolutely. Changed forever.
Oy.
Unbelievable. Okay, let me try. I'm trying to get this scan to him so he can put it on the screen. If he gets it, he'll put it up there. Okay, so you did a combination of the targeted new drugs, the designer. It's a designer drug or designer cancer?
Well,
How do they?
It's a targeted therapy
Targeted
drug,
therapy,
and the
specifically
newest,
for the type of cancer that you have.
Correct.
And it wouldn't work on most people.
Correct. You have to have the ALK rearranged is my pathology, which is just a special pathology of the type of cancer. And there's also immunology therapy, which they inject sometimes tuberculosis germs that attack the tumors.
Oh my
I mean,
goodness.
the medicine today.
It's changed quite a bit.
Oh, thank God I didn't have cancer 10 years ago.
An
And same for
analogy
Barry.
that a doctor gave me about the new drug that you're on is look at AIDS patients. When AIDS first came out, they didn't really have a chance. There was nothing to save them.
Right.
Now, there are a lot of people walking around that have AIDS and will have it for the rest of their life, and they'll live a normal lifespan because they're on these drugs. And that's what these new targeted cancer drugs can do.
Yes.
So it's all new,
Yes.
all new. So you
Yes.
had a combination of that, then you had the juicing, and you did the cannabis oil.
Yes.
And I mean, look at her.
And
she
juicing really,
she looks better than
before
most people.
anything else, before my drugs started, I was on juice from day one.
That
Started
stands up.
massive amounts.
Oh, there we go.
This is
Okay,
it.
tell us what we're looking
Oh
at.
gosh, this is so exciting. The MRI on the right is at time of diagnosis, February 26th of 2016.
So on the
And-
right, what we're looking at on the right there is your tumor. It looks like an eye socket,
Yes.
but on the left it is your eye. But on the
Correct.
right, it's a tumor, correct?
And that one was removed surgically 5 days later.
Because it was 3 centimeters.
Correct. And I don't know if I can point on here. Can I point on here?
No,
And
that won't work.
The rest, okay. So the rest you can't really count because some of them look like tumors in the middle.
Yeah.
In the middle,
well,
but they're
there's a
not.
dozen tumors in there.
There's a dozen tumors in there.
Okay.
Okay, and the scan on the left is March, and you can see the triangle-shaped cavity in the middle rear of the brain has a little cone-shaped white spot. That's
Yeah, I
your
see
pineal
that.
gland.
Uh-huh.
That is like your third eye chakra. It's like the center of your being. And in the right scan, at time of diagnosis, it's all disfragmented. And a dear girlfriend of mine that is in the spiritual world and does yoga, Stacy DeCristo, you know, she's astounded by, you know, the miraculous MRI. But she says, I have to tell you something very exciting. She goes, your pineal gland. She goes, look at it in the first scan. She goes, it's all messed up. It's all apart. And she goes, it's a perfect cone shape.
In the
You are
second
totally
one.
centered. So, and look at, there's only a couple tiny little white spots.
Now, I want to point out what we're looking at on top there are your eyeballs, right? So
Correct.
don't confuse those for tumors.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
So
correct.
really, in the rest of it, look where that large tumor was before.
There's a black hole.
on the
Little
left hand
bit.
side. No, on the left hand side, I'm talking about the white tumor in the first. That's completely gone.
Yes. And white
that's-
and bright means active tumors.
Oh
There's,
wow.
You know, there's really, in the center, in the back, those are not tumors.
Okay.
There's just a teeny tiny little white spot.
But there are a dozen tumors in there on the right. Some of them are small, I guess,
Yeah.
and maybe
Right,
harder for us to see.
right.
But I mean, look at
There's
notice how
lines and shadows. It's
Wow.
it's truly a miracle.
That's
And,
amazing.
I can't stress the power of juicing. I mean, you can if you can eat all those vegetables in a day.
Yeah,
God
see,
bless
I
you.
didn't realize that. What you're talking about, how many vegetables goes into something like this? Because if I'm going to eat some broccoli, I'm just eating a few spears.
Right.
Tell them about
And this is-
phytonutrients.
And this is, again, it's like 4 to 5 pounds of the fruits and vegetables that are just cold pressed down
this one
into
here.
that bottle. So you're getting all those nutrients, phytonutrients, everything. Mm-hmm. You're never going to eat that.
Right.
So it's just
And some
it's great
of your
for you.
juices are fruit, not plant, right?
Some of them are fruits and vegetables. Some of them are all vegetables. Some of them are all fruit, depending on. Remember, people give fruit a bad name.
See,
but,
I've always been
know.
told to stay away from fruit because it contains a lot of sugar, but you told me you were going to tell me that's not true.
yes.
Okay.
You know,
I mean, it does contain
there-
sugar, but it's not the bad
There's
sugar, right?
processed sugar, Frosted Flakes, cereal, candy,
Right.
and then there's sugar from an apple. I mean, it's two totally different things. Your body will assimilate it totally differently.
Totally different. Okay.
So, and there's none of us have ever heard a friend go to the doctor and the doctor says, you know what, you ate too many apples
too
today.
much fruit.
Too
much fruit,
I'm
right.
looking at your blood work and you got to cut down on the fruit.
So,
it
fruit,
just
so
never
we shouldn't be
happens.
afraid of fruit.
Look, I'm not a doctor, and maybe if you have diabetes,
Yeah.
that's a different story. Mm-hmm. But for the most people, fruit's not going to be your problem.
Because
It's
I remember
cake,
the first time
it's
I
the
met
pizza,
you at
it's the candy.
at Raw Juice, you said, "What do you want?" I said, "I want something without the sugar from fruit."
Right.
And you were like, "No."
No. Yeah,
Okay, so
I think that's a big misconception.
yeah, it is because a lot of people are afraid of that.
Yeah, and the same people will be like, "Well, I can't have any fruit," but then they're going to go out and have a steak or
A glass of wine.
and
Right.
so it's
Or in my
like
case, coffee.
people are
Right.
just, it's just in your head.
It is.
And
And now,
And it's
also in your place, you serve those bowls. What are those called?
acai bowls.
Oh, those are wonderful.
They are.
Yeah, those are wonderful.
Oh,
so
those are
I mean, people
fantastic.
have
And what's
them-
in that?
People have them for breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Right. What,
and a
what do you
snack.
put in there?
Acai is a Brazilian superfruit.
Okay.
So that's the base. And then we top it off with bananas, strawberries, blueberries.
Is there yogurt or
cacao
something in
nibs.
there?
No, the acai.
That's what I
tastes
see in the.
and
Okay.
it has the same texture as yogurt or ice cream.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So, and then we top it off with fruits and superfoods, cacao nibs, bee pollen.
Yeah,
just
it's an amazing place.
it's amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
It's
And all our stuff is homemade. We
Mm-hmm.
even have some desserts now. We have a raw energy bar.
how do you do desserts?
We have a great chef that
Reese
prepares.
cups.
all
I know. I
this.
saw you
just
eating a
tried.
Reese
They
cup
were
the other day.
so
I'm like, hey, wait a minute.
It's a
What's in it?
cashew, not peanut butter cup.
Cashew.
So it's
nut.
cashew.
Okay.
And it's so sweet.
Delicious.
It's so sweet. So
And it's
this
got
food
chocolate
really
in
tastes
it?
good.
It's got
Cashew.
chocolate. So there's
And
no actual
cacao.
chocolate.
No,
Oh,
cacao.
Okay. So what is
Cacao
cacao?
is nature's chocolate.
It tastes like chocolate though.
Yes. Oh yes. Yes.
So you feel like you're eating your Reese's
Oh
peanut butter
yeah.
cups.
Oh yeah. It's sweet. So.
Oh my goodness.
Again, people think like plant-based. It's like, oh my God, I'm just like it's not going to taste good, but it's not true.
Wow.
It's delicious.
Yeah, I know. There's one in Boca Raton for all you people in Boca. What's the address? I know you're right near the Beauty Lounge.
We
hang
have
out.
3 in Boca Raton.
Oh, you have 3 now.
Yes,
Okay, I knew
one
you had
is
2.
on Glades Road.
Okay,
In Glades
Where?
Plaza,
Glades
which
Plaza.
is west of 95.
and that's right by what's
2200
By
Glades Road.
serendipity.
Serendipity. Well, they moved over
Yeah.
east now.
Oh, okay.
But what's the
Flywheels
steak
over
place
there.
in there?
Abe and Louis
Abe and
is
Louis,
over
right
there.
behind Abe and Louis. And there's
Yes.
a Starbucks. Okay,
And there's a Starbucks
and you're back
there.
in the corner.
Yes.
That one's open now.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was
Okay.
the original one.
Okay.
So that,
Oh, I didn't
in
know that.
October, that one will be open for about 4 years.
Oh, I did not know that. Okay,
We have one out east here on
Yeah.
Federal Highway.
That's the one I go to.
Right, a
Yeah.
little south of Palmetto.
Okay.
Same block as Mateo's.
Yeah, right near the Beauty Lounge.
Yes.
Everybody that knows
And
the Beauty Lounge, it's right across the street. I go back and forth between the Beauty
Yes.
Lounge and
then we just
people are always
opened-
carrying
That's
around
not
juice
such a
into the
bad
Beauty
routine.
Lounge. It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, and we just opened the 3rd in the new plaza on Military between Clintmore and Yamato, where Fresh Market is.
Military between Clintmore and Yamato.
It's called Park Place.
Okay, I don't think I've been there yet.
Yeah, it's a great plaza. Everyone in that plaza is really happy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have 3 in Boca, and don't you have one in Miami Beach?
Yeah, we have one in South Beach, one in Aventura. We just opened one in Coral Gables, Miami.
Wow, look at this entrepreneur here. You
King
are
of Green. I call him
rolling.
King of Green.
We're trying.
And they're very popular, you know.
They're very popular
people
with every age group.
crowd. I know, that's the
Every age
interesting
group.
thing.
Yes.
The,
Yeah.
the kids love it.
Oh, I know that.
Grade school kids, high school kids, college kids. It's
Cancer
their place.
people. I've referred cancer
Yeah.
patients to him, and he meets with them personally.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That
And
woman
gives-
in Aventura, remember?
Yes, and gives them. And I have another friend that's in Palm Beach Gardens, and they just really are a wealth of information that they put out there.
Yeah, we really
Yeah.
do care.
You do.
Yeah. well,
Face-to-face
obviously, look what you did
meeting.
for her.
Right.
So, in your average day, tell me what you eat and drink. How do you start? What do you start with? One of these?
I start with a bottle of water. That's the first
Okay.
thing I do is full bottle of water, and I drink all my water to room temperature. I drink about a half a gallon of water a day.
Why room temperature? Is there some reason?
You can drink it faster. Cold water is just so cold.
Yeah,
and I think
that's
it's a little
true.
bit harder to get down. So
Right.
I have my bottle of water, and then I have like usually steel cut oatmeal with some Greek yogurt and some berries, and I add chia seeds. I kind of make my little bowls
Yeah.
like Barry
Okay.
has taught me so well, and then I do my juices. Then I have a green juice. I have my turmeric. I have my wheatgrass. And then I start my juicing, and it's juice water.
Okay,
I
so you do it
4
all day
juices
long.
a day. Yes,
4
I
juices
do.
a day like
4
this,
juices
and you do
a
the
day.
little turmeric shots.
Yes, the
Now
turmeric.
tell us about those again. Am I saying it wrong?
Turmeric is great. I mean, we get this turmeric root from Hawaii.
Okay.
It's organic. It's like a big root, and we literally
Crush it
press
down.
it.
Okay.
It's called a cold press, and we
Okay.
press it until it turns into a liquid, and we just put it into the bottle. It's pure. It can't be any purer.
And you do that as a shot.
And we
I
do
saw
that
you-
as a
I
shot.
saw these two
Yes.
do that the other day.
Yes. Yes.
It's like,
Because that's
Okay.
strong.
yeah.
You don't want to. You
wouldn't
can't
just-
drink
yeah.
a bottle of it.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
It just can't happen.
Okay.
So.
So you do how many of those shots a day?
2.
2 of those. Okay.
in the
So
morning,
you're
one in
drinking
the
juice like
evening.
this all day long,
Yes.
and then you do 2 shots of that.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. I'm gonna have to start trying
And,
this.
vegetables.
Yeah.
Salad for lunch. I eat fish. I'm not totally plant based. I did try to really go
Living on
that
the edge.
route. Yeah, and it was just really difficult for me. I lost a lot of weight, and my doctor's like, you need to eat. So
You lost weight when? From
just not being it was just hard for me to keep up my strength and be totally plant-based, but my diet is just so much better than what it used to be. It's just it really is surrounded around plant-based items. That's what I look.
you made that
that's,
whole shift. Okay.
That's what I look for.
And
And your difference, your energy level, everything.
Really?
Your skin changes. Yes.
Wow.
I mean,
your nails change.
Everything
oh, I
about
have
me.
horrible nails. Is this gonna help my nails?
Absolutely.
Oh, it does.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
wow.
Yeah, people
Okay.
notice it right away.
Yeah.
Yeah. First thing someone will say to me, "Oh my God, my skin."
Wow.
Yeah. So,
See, people don't even think about this.
right.
Well, up until now, we didn't have this kind of thing where you had
Right.
so such.
We were doing
concentra-
it ourselves, and it was very labor intensive, and I certainly wasn't drinking the amount that I
That you
drink
can get.
today. Right.
Wow.
I have one of these in my car at all times.
Oh, you
An
carry
ice
it around
pack.
with you?
Absolutely.
I mean, this is a
That's a good
designer
idea.
bag.
Food
Yeah,
to
look
go.
at that. Can
Yes.
we show that? Wait, hand that to me.
I mean, that's
This is a raw
designer.
juice bag.
That's
So-
the new Gucci.
So if you really get into this, you're going to want to get a bag like this, and you
That's
carry it
right.
around with you.
Ice
so
packs.
that you can.
Got to keep the,
There's ice in here?
the gold. You got to keep the gold nice and chilled.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me get that little.
Go
so
for the
camera can
gold.
see it.
Go for the gold.
Wow. So it's like a whole system if you
Yeah,
really want to.
people love those bags.
Yeah.
I see them on the beach, everything.
Oh yeah, it's great. So okay, so let me see where I can put that. I'll put this on here for right now. Okay, so if someone wanted to start this just to get healthier,
Right?
they would come in and be put on a schedule, or you just
Yeah, it's you don't have to be put
It's
on
not
a
difficult.
schedule. You just, you walk into a Raw Juice and other plant-based restaurants that are now popping up, and you start eating, whole organic food the way that we were supposed to eat it.
okay,
You know,
Living off the land,
Right.
like the natives did.
right,
or our grandparents did.
Right.
absolutely.
You know,
So
organic food used to just be called food.
right. Yeah, now it's all processed. So
You
what
know.
you're saying is stay away from all the processed stuff
Yeah,
too.
the chemicals. It's
Right.
really people should be worried about the chemicals, not the calories.
Right.
Because calories are
I know,
good
we
for
all worry
you
about-
if you eat
We
good
all worry
food.
about right. You don't have
That
to worry about
provides
it
you
if
the
you're eating the
energy.
right,
Right.
you're eating the right stuff.
Right.
Leanne, where do you go from here? Now, you just had a brain scan today.
I did.
Do you know the results of that yet?
Well, I
Or you wanna
haven't
move
gotten a
forward little
phone
bit?
call. I haven't gotten a phone call, so that's good news.
So that's good news. No phone call.
Because bad news always travels quickly. So
Yeah.
the fact I expect continued progress.
Right.
I have asked for total healing and miraculous works to be done through me. I'm a person of faith, and I have an amazing faith family, Advent Lutheran Church, that cancer's a very difficult thing to go through, especially with the magnitude of surgery and steroids and massive amounts
still
of
on steroids?
medications. No, thank God.
What was that like? That's pretty.
a nightmare?
Yeah. What
Yeah,
happened?
and at the time, I sold my house. I sold my house furnished. I got rid of everything. I purged my entire life. And
Why'd you
moved
do
to a-
that?
I couldn't keep up with it. And I didn't know what the future held. I had a deposit on another place. My oncologist advised me not to do that. We didn't know what the path was going to be. So some dear friends of mine leased me a place in Highland Beach, and I just went from a home on the Intercoastal to a little bitty place, and my life is simple now, but I've never been happier. And
Wow.
so simple is wonderful.
Yeah. And you
And-
never would have experienced that had this not happened to you.
So, I've been living the last year kind of like, I could possibly die, but now that I'm going to live, I got to figure out what I'm going to be when I die. It's a good problem
Throw the
to
whole big
have.
problem into the works now.
What am I going to do when I grow up?
Yes.
So initially, you really thought you would be dead in a few months, right? Is that what
well,
you?
I certainly didn't expect to be where I am now.
And how do you even process that? I mean, I can't
It's-
imagine. I mean, did you?
I ride my bike a lot.
Yeah. Wow.
Some people take a bill. I ride a bike and
Yeah.
I cycle, and I just lead a really, really healthy lifestyle. Focus on things that are very different. And now, my focus is really to give back and to help others.
Well, you're
fighting.
certainly an inspiration for anyone that's, someone newly diagnosed that's
Yes.
terrified. All they need to do is talk to you. I mean, you probably had one of the worst diagnoses out there.
Yes, it just was devastating. Just really, I had no choice but to put my faith in God and whatever His plan for my life was.
When they initially told you, was that in the ER? Was that
Yes.
the same day?
Well,
That you went in?
once I was admitted and gone up to the room and met with the oncologist, the brain oncologist, Sajil Chowhardy, and my lung oncologist, Albert Vegas. My life was changed forever. I just didn't know what the path was going to be, but I had really
Must have been terrifying.
very terrifying. But I'll tell you, the peace that passes all understanding was mine because I have faith in Christ. So I really. That's what I had to go on. Because I
Wow.
had no power over this.
No, absolutely. And
The control
people
factor
love
is
to
gone.
control things, and you
No.
lost
Not an option.
all control. No. Wow.
option.
You just had to let whatever was going to happen happen.
Yeah.
But of course, you had good people that,
You know.
that came in to help
Well,
you.
and he really was the first in play. I mean, because juice was for the first thing that
How did
I
you find
started
out,
from
Barry,
day
that she
one.
was diagnosed?
We have close mutual friends.
Okay, so the friend told you that
Yeah.
she's got a problem and
Yes.
maybe you could help her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, because I imagine your friends were just trying anything to, what can we do for her?
Yes. Was just, it's just.
How did you
it's been
sleep
an
at
amazing,
night, though? I mean,
amazingly, I slept pretty well. I've never, thank God, I really am a good sleeper. Thank God, I have a peace.
but
about
when
me
you wake
that-
up in the morning,
sleep
then
good, too.
you realize that
yeah,
you had this horrific challenge.
I never let it define me. And even though I had that in the back of my mind, I had kids that I had to really, while I was well and looking well, to,
How many
hope
kids do you have?
for. 4 stepchildren and a son 14. So, 26, 24, 23, and 18, and then my 14-year-old.
Wow.
So,
So you had to be brave for them.
Absolutely.
Brady bunch.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It is. It is.
It's a big crew.
And, it was a strained relationship before, and I'll tell you what, through tragedy comes such blessings. And, my family was behind me. They moved me. They just,
Oh,
it's just an amazing story. It really is, it's movie material.
yes, it is.
Or book material,
Certainly
I don't
should,
know.
yeah.
But there's so much information to share that people...
I think you could write a book. Boy.
It really is, because the power of positive thinking, just to never ever give up.
Did you ever get into like a depressed state during all this?
Yeah, I think more so when I've realized, oh my gosh, I'm gonna live. Now what do?
Now the pressure's on.
Yes,
now the
I gotta do
pressure's
all the
on.
other crap
It's
that
like-
everybody else
I
does.
gotta start paying those bills.
So
That's funny.
yeah, but it's a time of renewal.
Gotta worry
and-
about your credit score.
Yeah, that's on my list. It's on my list. I check it regularly. It's
Yeah.
Oh my
just
gosh.
Yeah,
So you're saying there was a certain freedom in being diagnosed as terminal?
definitely, you get somewhat of
Oh
a
my
hall
goodness.
pass a little bit,
Wow.
for some. So
Yeah.
yes.
Oh,
But there's
unbelievable.
hope for so many. So I have so much thanks and gratitude, obviously, to Barry and my oncologist at Lynn Cancer Center and Ricardo Comatar at University of Miami. That
well, in South Florida, we have some of the best medicine in the country, particularly for cancer care, right here at Boca Regional Hospital.
it's true.
Nobody has to go anywhere else.
No.
It's amazing because and it's come a long way. And I mean,
Yes.
look what happened to you with the targeted drugs and
Yes.
just
Cancer 10 years ago would not have been
No.
fun for me.
no.
Absolutely not.
Wow.
Yes.
Absolutely right. How new are these drugs?
Very new.
Very new.
Yes.
Within the last couple of years, I think.
Yes.
Wow. Well, we have to thank all of the scientists and people that put money into that and develop these drugs. And, there's people working on this every day, and we're moving forward. I mean, it is miraculous.
Well, and now, cannabis is medically legal in the state of Florida.
Right.
And the neurologist that I've seen in Stewart is absolutely just beside himself, so happy to see me. I'm his 10th patient.
Wow.
And my 2016 transcript is 600 pages, and he's like, I can't wait. It's like he's reading the best novel of his life. He cannot wait to dig into it. And he goes, "You're the patient that I've been waiting for
Wow.
to show." And
To show how
cannabis
this
oil,
works.
is for seizure activity, for epilepsy, for Alzheimer's,
Yep.
for Parkinson's, for so many things. And
Right.
people just don't understand it, just
Right.
like I didn't understand it until you
needed
it's
it.
Knowledge
Yeah.
is power.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cannabis is a plant.
Yeah. Right.
It is.
Absolutely.
It's biblical.
Yeah.
Genesis 1:29.
Okay.
Yes.
Cannabis is biblical. Okay. So we've got the
See-
cannabis oil.
yes.
We've got the
Juice.
medicine and the juice.
Juice.
And you used all three
Yes.
to get to where you are today. And
God.
you certainly look very, very healthy. When I met you for the first time, I was like, no, that can't be her. Unbelievable.
I am proof that miracles can happen, and the power of positive thinking and just really, really taking care of yourself.
And you look like
owning.
you work out too. You still do all
I
that?
do. I exercise. I, do a couple sprint triathlons.
Look at that.
I love to ride my bike.
Right.
And Mike Casper, the radiologist,
Yeah, I know
oncologist,
Mike.
I met him on a bike, and
Oh, wow.
yeah, it's just a lot of.
Well, this community is taking care of you, and I'm sure
Yes,
they
oh
will
my
continue
gosh. And I need to
do
give
that.
back. I feel the audacious need to give back.
Well, I think you're giving back just by telling everybody your story. You're certainly giving hope to
Yes,
people. Now,
thank
anybody
God.
that gets a diagnosis like that is going to know that it's not the
Yes,
end of the
if
world.
I can come out of it,
Yeah,
anyone can, really.
right. Yeah, we all saw that brain scan. Whew. So, I'm so happy that you came in here today. We only have about a minute left here, and then we're going to change out guests. But I'd like you to come back periodically, and Barry, come with her, and we'll
Great.
put you
Yes.
on, and we'll talk about your progress and anything new that's happening.
Yes.
And because
all the
this
exciting
is
news.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And drink green, people. Drink green.
Yes.
Drink as much as you can. Green, green, green. King of green.
I'm thrilled to start trying it now. I want to
Yes.
feel all this energy and everything. Thank you very much, Barry, for coming in
Thank
with
you
her.
for
Raw
having
Juice.
us.
And what's your website?
Rawjuice.com.
Rawjuice.com. Juice is Juice.
J-U-C.
Yes, I had to learn that, but I like it. I like it.
I wasn't an English major in college.
Okay, well, thank you for
Thank
coming
you,
in. We're going to
Becky,
go
so
to commercial
much.
now and switch
Thank
out
you.
guests. And
Thank you,
we'll
Becky.
be in touch, and this whole community is going to help take care of you, and I think you're going to be just
And I'll
fine.
be giving back, so thank you so much.
Okay. You have been watching and listening to The Becky and Boca Show. Tune in every Thursday night at 6 p.m. to discover all the ways to spoil yourself and have a good time in beautiful Boca Raton. See you next week.